A very good afternoon to everyone. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all for today's guest lecture on environmental impact assessment of urban infrastructure, organized by the Department of Civil Engineering, St. Peter's College of Engineering and Technology. I extend a warm and hearty welcome to our guest speaker, Mr. A. Satyanathan Sharma, Assistant Professor, Senior Grade, Department of Civil Engineering, SRM Valeme Engineering College, Katangalathur. We are truly honored to have you with us today, sir. I also extend my warm welcome to all the faculty members and my dear students. I welcome you all for today's guest lecture. I hope we will have a great session today. Thank you. And coming next to our guest speaker, it is my privilege to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. A. Satyanathan Sarma, a highly accomplished academician and researcher with more than 10 years of experience in teaching. He is currently serving as Assistant Professor Senior Grade at SRM Valiame Engineering College, Katangalathur. He has completed his BE Civil Engineering from Sankara University and ME Structural Engineering from Ranganathan Engineering College, Coimbatore. He has also completed his MBA in Operation Management from Nasi Institute of Management Studies, and currently he is pursuing his PhD at Anna University. He has made remarkable contributions to research with over 30 journal publications, including papers in texting, SCI and Scopus, and 8 conference presentations and 2 technical books authored. His areas of expertise include green building design, steel and composite structure, finite element analysis. He has also served as a resource person for several FDPs, value-added courses, and training programs. Known for his dedication to student growth, administrative contributions, and continual academic achievement, he stands as a strong inspiration to budding civil engineers. We are truly honored to have you with us today, sir, and we look forward to gaining valuable knowledge from his expertise. Thank you all. I hand over the session to Mr. Satyanathan Sharma, sir. Please, sir.
Thank you, madam. Am I audible? Am I audible? Is that
Yes,
my
sir.
audio clear? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the nice introduction. And I take this moment to thank the organizer for giving me the opportunity to present guest lecture on environmental impact assessment on urban infrastructure. I thank the organizers and the coordinator and the management, St. Peter's institution. Thank you so much. Let me dive into the topic. Let me share my screen. Please let me know whether it is visible. Visible, right?
Yes, sir, it's
Sir.
visible.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What I actually feel is at this point of time, that at this juncture, the college has chosen a right topic which has major attention, especially as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. This topic is very close to our current development, which every civil engineer, actually every public has to know. At most, the by par, civil engineers has to be very aware of this particular topic, that is environmental impact assessment of urban infrastructure. We all know what is happening, how the rapid growth is happening throughout the nation, especially when we take Tamil Nadu. It is no way behind any state as far as infrastructure development is concerned. So again, I congratulate, or I take this opportunity to thank the organizers for choosing this particular topic. Let me directly dive into this with a few important quotes that we need to understand first ourselves. So what life we are living now, what happening or what and all we are enjoying from the environment is all about not being left. We are borrowing from the future. That is what it says. It's very, very important quote that we need to remember. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestor. We are just borrowing it from our children. What we are getting, what we are going to give to them is very, very important because we are living their life now. This clearly emphasizes our duty to manage the environmental resource very, very responsibly so that our future generation will have a proper life with what and all the environmental benefits they can get. Right, as we all know, the entire nation is moving ahead with sustainable development. Right, entire world is moving, especially as far as India is concerned, and we are signing lot of sustainable development goals related policies. Why this keyword everywhere if you go, you can see the word sustainable development goals or sustainable development. Whatever the project you take, whatever the new product you are going to invent or you are going to do some research, every aspect will concentrate on the sustainability. Why it is so important? This is what it says. This quote is very close to that. Why we are moving towards the sustainability, as we are just borrowing our days from our or the resources from our children. With that note, I'll also like to quote this Gandhiji quote: this world is for everyone's need, not for everyone's greed. Right. So personally I feel the responsible consumption and production is the major thing that we need to address at this point of time for this particular environmental issues or whatever happening now, that is majorly linked with responsible consumption and production. That is what it has to say. Moving on further, so when you look into this, as far as our country is concerned, we all know we are rapidly moving towards urbanization, rapid urbanization. I need to address this word as a rapid urbanization. Why? Because the growth is very rapid, unimaginable. As the if you see the population growth, we are almost at the top one, right? The number one country. So at the same time, we are heading towards the developments. So if you see into this map, you can see popular 90 major developed cities in India, which is happening at the rapid speed from wherever you see. You might have come across how Maharashtra will be very, the population is very, very dense there. So from even there, you can see a very rapid growth happening from the states of Maharashtra to the serene beauty of Kerala. How many of you, not how many of you, almost everyone would have come across what is Kerala. Kerala is all about God's own country, what it offers, what are the resources it has, the potential of resources that it possesses. No, even there also we are seeing a very rapid urbanization growth. What does it mean? That indirectly even every natural resource is being utilized for any survival point of thing. Everything has been used to the maximum extent to attain a state called as urbanization, and we have to develop to that state. So this is what that's the latest figure. And when you come across in 1 or 2 years, it might be even in three figures. It may reach up somewhere else. Just an overview how urbanization is happening at the rapid speed, especially India is concerned. Have you ever thought about how a new road or any new project or a dam or any railway track, airport that affects the local environment? Have you ever thought of it? If something is coming, any new bridge is coming, any dam is coming. So what we used to say, wow, okay, some development is happening. But no, nobody is concerned what and all has been eradicated or what is the loss so that we got this whatever the benefit when you call dam roads or some benefits. So what are the benefits we come across? Have you ever thought of it? If not, this is the right time. You must think of that. Can progress truly be called development if it harms the environment? See, if everybody is concerned about development, who is going to concern the affected one? Here, the affected one is environment. If some development is very good and but it harms the environment. So, for example, very known example is plastics, right? Just an example. I'm saying taking a material where the progress plastic is very easy to access, easy to use, but you know what the harms it produces to the environment. You know very well, right? So whatever the progress we are getting up, right? It has whether it is been harming, it is doing any harm, or it is benefiting the environment. That is the question that has to rise in your mind for every sort of development. Okay, what the price do we pay for the growth? Is growth is coming for free? Say, for example, if I take a material again, natural resources, it's free, right? That's what we call natural. It's there in the nature. We can take as much as possible, right? That's what we think of, right? What price do we pay for the growth if something is happening? See, I used to visit city, Chennai city frequently. I saw a quote there where metro construction is happening. They quote like this. It goes like this: struggle today for a better tomorrow. Say, for example, the traffic is very high or it is getting too late to cross one place to other. So the process, what is giving is struggle, right? In the process, if you struggle today, you will be in a better world tomorrow. What is the better thing it is going to bring? If metro is coming, so what happens? The traffic it get reduced, easy movement can be done, one place to another place, communication duration can be reduced, right? That's the advantage, right? Immaterial of how much you are going to pay for it, that is different. So what price do we pay for the growth? Is it for the betterment? Is it for the good, for the environment? That you have to think of. Then can we balance human advancement with ecological preservations? That is also very important. See, you know very well the ecological cycle, what is how it is happening. One thing is interrelated with the other. You all come across some food chain, process chain, oxygen cycle, all sort of things. Everything has been linked with ecological system, ecosystem. Are we giving a balanced ecosystem? I agree, development is happening. Is it giving a better ecological system, ecological balance? That has to be asked for each and every sort of project that we are considering. So these are the questions you must ask for any development that is happening in and around yourself. Even if it is happening somewhere around, you have to think of, okay, is it if some project is coming, somebody is against it, somebody is in favor of it. You must raise a question: why it is happening? Why these parties having a why these parties is in favor of them? Why some party is against of them? All the those stuff you have to check it. Sorry for the interruption. So, what does development truly mean? You can see in the picture, both are in the city. One part is being so called as developed, which is having a very high-rise buildings, and we are setting up the standard of living to somewhere. And you can see here there is very less amount of traffic happening. Very parallel to it, you can see this also. The other image where this is also been addressed at the same place. Which one is called as development? What does really development mean? Is this what development is, occurs? Is, someone says, right? It has to be evenly distributed, right? Whatever thing we are going to give to the environment or some any aspects, we always concentrate on the equal or even distribution. Is it happening for the developments? Is some if something is developed, it is it being used for, or is it truly mean for everyone? That is a question you have to ask, whether the development is truly for everyone. Is it mean everyone else in the whoever it is getting benefited? So I'll come to urban infrastructure. Just now we discussed about the rapid growth of urbanization. So is it this is what it is all about, the urban infrastructure, just a pictorial representation how a urban infrastructure will look like. Whether is it going to benefit, or is it going to affect the environment, or is it going to benefit the environment? That has to be very, very clear, be it any sort of development. That has to be the first question it has to come. When I say urban infrastructure, I mean to add a word called urban green infrastructure. That is what very, very important here. When I say green, what are the possible way that you can restore the natural resources or bring back the natural elements that and all possibly be included in the existing infrastructure, so that I will have a infrastructure development as well as I will be satisfying what is so called the green infrastructure. You can see here, I can go for vertical greening system, constructed wetlands I can do. I can have a small area of trees where it can be treated as a modern term, urban forest. Ponds I can create, urban parks I can create, and proper infiltration storage, non-infiltration storage elements, urban gardens, and infiltration system for vegetation purposes, tree pits, all those stuffs you can bring in into a existing infrastructure. If these two goes hand in hand, then our motto, which is the urban infrastructure, urban green infrastructure, will be satisfied. Will be satisfying the sustainability and will be satisfying the development as well. Be it any development, definitely there will be some in favor and some in against. How we are going to convince? See, if somebody is against of any project or any development or any infrastructural development, it's not for their own purpose, right? There may be 50, I'll take 50-50 chance. 50% is they are truly, they are suffering and they are asking for some ordinary remedies. And we should not forget the remaining 50, which is purely for political reasons, right? They will come and they'll stop. They can do it on their own ruling time, all those stuffs. It has to be very clear. Both are happening 50%, but you are supposed to be in a position to convince, and so that they both the parties, those who are benefiting, if you have a very good alternate solution, you can go for it, and they'll accept and they'll be convinced. And also the political parties, we have to give a proper explanation or whatever sort of convincing, so that they okay, the welfare of the people or the growth of the nation is important than any other cheap politics. You have to convince in a way. You whenever say you are the engineers, you are supposed to be in that position, and you will be in that position definitely when you go out of 4 years after graduating. Definitely you will be in a good job, you will be put forth into any good project. As time progress, as you gain experience, you will be in a position to decide whether to go with this project or not, what are the pros and cons, whether to accept this or not, what is what we are contributing to the environment, at least for the God's sake, at least are we not spoiling the environment? If at all we are not giving anything to the environment, at least we are not spoiling anything to the environment. As you all know already, we are running out of natural resources, right? Many of you have come across how river sand has been running out of in existence. We are already moved into what is called as manufacturing sand. Already we are into it, and water resources also getting reduced. So definitely, you as an engineers, you must have some alternate ideas, which has been direct in synchronization with green infrastructure or green materials, smart materials, very straight in point with in relation with sustainability. That is important. Look at the picture, you can see how development has happened from Madarasapattinam to Singara, Chennai. You can see here in the left side, it's very old picture where we call this as a Madarasapattinam. Then 2005, you can see how slowly urbanization happened. And 2020, you can see the metro rails coming there at the same place, the same Katipara. I know, you all know, right? This is Katipara Junction, right? Katipara Bridge. And now we are in 2025. There is another bridge has been built, which is under already in existence for the metro phase 2. By next year, you can get the other picture also, which is another 6 to 7 years development, right? This is how the transformation is happening. Is it, what do you think? How it has been transferred? Whether it is benefit, is it spoiling the environment or not? What is happening here at this point of junction? You can very well see how trees has been eradicated. See here, you can see very well in 2005 and to 2020, the how environment has been totally collapsed. What are the other benefits had happened because of this infrastructure development? These are the questions you must raise. In a span of 15 years, something has happened from one point to the other point. How this has happened? Uh, who are all the benefits? Who are all the affected person? Is it who is higher? Whether the affected persons are higher or the benefit persons are higher? If at all something has been benefited, is there any alternate solution that can be done? All those stuffs you have to think on, right? At least just like reading a newspaper or reading a news article, you can come across. So who is getting benefited, or how much benefit has been happened? Who are all the affected person? What are the compensation they have got? Right? All those stuffs you have to keep on thinking, because you will be very soon you will be in a position to decide all these stuffs. Diving into the major part, that is the topic of today, environment impact assessment. From the very right word, the split up here you can see environmental is all about environment. What is the impact that has been created? We are going to assess it. Very similar to what we are going to, how we are doing a project, or how a project has been reviewed, right? Is it benefit for the environment or not? What is the impact it is going to give? If you see, again, I'm saying if it is not getting benefited, so it is not a good project. No, that's not the case. Somewhere or the other, it may suit somewhere else, or it may suit some other year later, right? You can have those sort of assessments. At this juncture, it is not needed. Maybe after 10 years, or this can be linked with so and so the other projects are clubbed together. Like all those stuffs can be done. So it is pure and about not about whether to choose or not. No, not directly, not that point. It is very similar to assessing whether how forward this can proceed, or how very earlier it has to be stopped. That is what is all about. Just assessing the environments. What are the impact that it is going to give to the environment? What the projects? When I say project, any new infrastructural project, be it dams, roads, mining activities, industries, railway station, roads, airports, any sort of activity which has been newly developed, it has to be assessed. So that whether it is feasible to the environment or not can be determined. So just giving some glimpse of the exact definition of what is EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment. It's a systematic process used to identify, when I say identify, predict and evaluate the potential environmental effects of a proposed project. Just now I spoke about the projects. What are the projects? Any infrastructure developments, or the development begins before beginning the development. That is at the very proposal stage. Or it can also be coined as a process of evaluating the likely environmental impacts of a proposed projects or development, taking into account of the interrelated point, very important, the socio-economical aspect, the cultural aspect, and human health impacts. both beneficial and the adverse effect. That's what I said. Socio-economical aspects, you know very well what is who is going to benefit economically or how it is going to benefit the society, because society and economics are blended together most of the time, at least 70 to 80% it has been blended. And what does the what it is bringing to the cultural difference? As we know, India is very diversified nation. Cultural difference is very, very important in every aspect of it. Because of that cultural difference, we stand as a nation, we stand very unique in compared to the other nation. So that also has to be looked into it. And the human health impacts, what it is going to bring. See, human health impacts, say for example, you may think, oh, what happens if a road is going to come? What is the human health impact it is going to bring? No, that's not the case. You all know very well about the air pollution that has been happening, the frequency of accidents that is happening, right? And if I say, if I bring a new industry into the town, what it is going to give? I'm not talking about the product it is going to deliver, the side effects or the wastage that it is going to produce, be it chemical or wastewater, any sort of things, right? So you have to address all those aspects, both beneficial and adverse effects. Both are to be included. That's what I said. It is not about rejecting. It is also about assessing and appreciating, including the benefits as well. Right? United Nations Environmental Policy defines EIA as a tool used to identify the environment, social, and economic impacts of the project prior to decision making. That is before approval. See, this is very, very important. Why? Because why it has been very quoted here, prior to decision making, it is very, very important. Once the project is been approved or assessed, every funds has been sanctioned, that roadmap has been extended. Because of that, various amount of like plans has been uh, timeline has been done. All of a sudden, if I go and stop at the mid without assessing earlier, very direct point is cost will be a very big issue. And the amount of energy that we have put into that project, everything will go, time waste, everything has to be done. Because see, that's what I'm saying. It's very, very prior to it, starting prior to the project of any project starting, right? So it aims to predict environmental impact at an earlier stage in the project planning and design, find ways and means to reduce adverse effects, shape projects. So it shapes the project, what can be done, what not to be done. So the local environment, where we can blend with the local environment. If any new project or anything is coming, you can go with blend environment. You might have come across an image where in Japan, a metro station will go into the apartment sixth and seventh floor, where eighth and ninth and the subsequent floors will be a living area, without destroying the particular building. They have constructed that. So these are all some good design, project planning and design, so that it supports the project, and it will it will increase the possibility of any project that can be benefited to the people. Here the present prediction and options to the decision makers, very, very important. Decision makers are very common in every country. They are the policy, we call as a policy makers, right? The government parties. That's what I said. We have to be in a position to convince them in a way that this can come or this cannot be come. It has to be very, very specific. Environment impact assessment as a national instrument shall be undertaken for proposed activities that are likely to have a significant adverse impact on the environment and are subject to a decision of competent national authorities. This is another direct definition of what it is all about. As far as India is concerned, it has been backed by the Environmental Protection Act 1986, which contains various provisions on EAA methodologies and process. We'll look into that, the process, how it is happening, and methodologies. And I will also take you to the few websites where you can go and you can assess how the project is happening, how what are the environmental concern it has. All those stuff I'll take through. What are some key features of EIA? What are some key features? So, what do you mean by a feature actually? When I say a feature, what does it mean? it has to give something beneficial, or it has to be a tool of whether it has been good or bad to assess that, right? So here EIA is a continuous and integral component of planning. What happened? So it has to run continuously throughout the planning cycle of any development initiatives, right? And if you say it's a complementary to all the other forms where continuous process will not happen, right? If I say any budget or any inspection work, everything happens at the start or at the mid or at the end once the process has been done. But here it is a continuous an integral part of planning and design, right? So it has to be initiated at the earlier possible stage at the project planning and design. Next one, what does it facilitates? A facilitates dialogue, prediction, and responses. So the decision makers or the public, right? They will consider the potential impacts of the project so that it can be viewed very seriously, right? Whether it is benefiting the local communities, or is it giving proper utilization of natural resources and the betterment of the environmental quality. It is very, very important, right? So then EIA helps to enhance social and economical opportunities by promoting conservation and provides a mechanism of enhancing new economical and social opportunities, right? In a long term, when I say long term, environmental protection and conservation measures, right? The last one is not the last one, the last one before. EIA provides a framework for stakeholders' participation in decision making. Very important. I'll touch upon here itself the stakeholders. Who are all stakeholders? Everyone, those who are involved in the project are stakeholders. We public are also the stakeholders of the any project as far as EIA is concerned. EIA is been if initiated, then we are also as a public we are also the stakeholders into the project, right? So development project that can be imposed on local communities. Most probably they fail to address it, right? But EIA, if it has been got into EIA, it has to be circulated. It has to take the commands of the public, right? Public participation is very important throughout the project cycle, right? Goods and bad, all those stuffs, right? And it's a tool to improve decision making. So it provides project specific and strategic information. When I say improves decision making, project specific is all about you as an engineer and the designer before uh, implementation of the project or the process, right? This decision has to be arrived, right? So it is like a mechanism for addressing the cross sectorial. When I say cross sectorial and cross boundary issues, like I'm constructing a road. What is it going to happen for the animals? No, that's not the case, right? I'm doing road for the betterment of people. Why I'm going to bother, or what is going to bother for the animals or any other local sectoral things, right? So that's not the case. You have to think on addressing the cross sectoral various sectors. It has to be done, and cross boundary issues as well. Right? This is what all about the features of EIA. Quickly, I'll take you through the global perception, the history of EIA, how it has come, what are the countries are involved globally as well as Indian perspective. So in 1969, the United States they are the pioneer of EIA with the enactment of National Environmental Policy Act (NEPA), the first law that has been formally required for environmental assessment for any federal project. They say federal project is government project, right? They are the pioneer in introducing this EIA. And 1970 to 80, in the span of 10 years, so this concept spread internationally, reaching to many countries with very similar regulations, how it works, all those stuffs. The World Bank began requiring EIA funding for those EIA projects in 1980. And in 1992, you might have come across Rio de Janeiro, the Earth Summit happened in 1992. It emphasized on EIA role in sustainable development, promoting its adoption throughout the world. That is very, very important. There only it has been given a widespread and a wake-up call to the entire world of this EIA and its importance and its role in developing a sustainable nation. And earlier 2000 to present, so EIA evolved to include strategic environmental assessment and more focus on public participation and climatic change impacts. Very, very important. That's what I earlier I said. Public participation has been included. It has to. We are also the stakeholders. They are supposed to ask for our concern in any aspects. Any new project has comes, right? How many of you are aware of this? Many of us we are not aware, right? Whether if some road is coming, usually you can ask, sir, who is asking me for any road construction? Who is asking me the permission of whether the road has to come or the project has to come? What are the things going to happen? Whose house is going to be get rid of? What is the compensation they are going to get? All those stuffs, right? You might have come across this Parandur Greenfield Airport, very famous, a very hot topic in today's political scenario, right? Whether to go with the airport or not, all those stuffs, right? Meanwhile, it's already happening. EAA is happening for that Greenfield Airport. They have formed a term of references already. Have done. I'll take you there also. See how there is protest happening without the public involvement. How the protest is happening? There are activists. There are environment activists in the nation and in the particular places, and the people who are getting affected, so their representation is also there. That's why as I say, 50 percentage proper attention has to be given, and 50 percentage is all about political reasons. There will be some uh, opposition, and the questions will come for any development that is happening, and I feel it is very good. It has to be raised, at least to know what is good happening, who is going to benefit. For that sake, for at least for that sake, it has to be done. What EIA has to be done, but EIA for all the project has to be done. No, that's not the point. I'll say when EIA has to happen, or when for what all the project EIA has to happen. I'll cover this bit earlier. So when it comes to India, right, in 1970s, concern begins as we progress into industrialization, but there is no any formal EIA procedures. And 1994, after the Earth Summit, so India officially introduced EIA notification under, as I said earlier, EPA, Environmental Protection Act in 1996, making EIA mandatory for certain project. That is very, very important, not for all the projects. And the latest notification is happened in 2006. How many of you know there is a notification came during COVID time, EIA 2020, which is being withdrawn because of the public participation. Very, very important and very good example how the public participation can be done. In 2006, they have implemented a new notification. It strengthened the process. Many of the people accepted, or you can say many of the people doesn't know about this. So majority has gone with the EA notification. When it comes to EA 2020, with the boom of social media and the other platforms, this has come into light and it has been withdrawn. Right? They give very shorter span of 20 to 30 days as the public notice. Within that 20 to 30 days, many of the activists and environmental concerned peoples, they have read through the gone through the EA notification, and first of all, it has been given only in the national, only in the Hindi language, which has been again protested, and it has been given again reframed, and it has been circulated throughout the nation in their regional languages, and many opposition has come for it, and it has been now it has been in a state where it cannot be further processed. It has to be refined and it has to process. So last notification is EIA 2006. 2020 is in stall state, right? So recent years, India has incorporated sterile complaints mechanism, online submission system, greater public consultation in EIA process. I'll show all this how it has been happening now in India. This is just a timeline how EIA is processed in a global aspect. 1960s rise of environmental awareness, very important. 1970 birth of EIA, 1980 adoption, global adoption. Everybody took EIA into their hand, and 1992 they have framed a framework, which is directly a tool for environmental protection and sustainable development. 2000 integration with policy and planning. So it includes strategic environmental assessment process and procedures. More focuses on the transparency and the public participation. The present scenario, so climatic resilience, biodiversity impacts and community effects, all is been happening, and it has been directly integrated with SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, and the Green Infrastructure Principles. That's why it has been now. I think the topic has been be very clear how EIA has been interlinked with the infrastructure development, because the state focus is on the concern of SDG and the green infrastructure. EIA is directly involved in shaping this new infrastructure. So why we need EIA? What is the importance? By bringing EIA, what is going to happen? What way it is going to benefit? So it enables, as I said earlier, and again, I'm saying it enables the decision maker to analyze the effects of development activities that is happening on the earth, or be specific on the environment, well before the development of the project or its implementation. So EIA makes sure the development plan is environmentally sound, very important, environmentally sound, not economically sound, it is environmentally sound, and within the limits of the capacity of assimilation and regeneration of the ecosystem. So it, as I said, ecosystem, it's a cycle. You cannot destroy it. You should not destroy it. And it has to be a regeneration of this ecosystem, keeping the ecosystem alive, right? Mitigation mitigates environmental damages. That is also very important. What it is going to damage, you can mitigate and recorrect it. Informs the decision making people, supports the sustainable developments. So when I say if something is wrong, if something is against the environment, what does it mean? It is not using the sustainable development point. That is what it is supports here. EAA, right? Addresses the growing challenges. What are the challenges? So at present, sustainability itself is a challenge, right? So and encourages public participation. We have discussed earlier. So what it clearly means, EIA links environment with development. So very important. Direct link, EIA links environment with development. The goal is to ensure environmentally safe and sustainable development is happening throughout the nation, be it any development you are bringing. Then why EIA is critical for urban infrastructure project? When I say infrastructure project, what are the infrastructure project we have? Roads, metros, housing development, most importantly, waste management system, all those stuffs come into picture. When I say infrastructure project, not only about roads, right? Even waste management, how we are going to manage it, the pollution control, all those stuffs will come into picture. Why? Because why it's critical? Because it ensures that development is sustainable, socially responsible, and environment is only we already discussed. So prevention of environmental degradation. So it prevents the entire environment being getting degraded or like spoiling the environment, right? Then balancing development sustainability, public participation, and social acceptance. It has to be accepted, very right word. Social acceptance is very, very important. When a project comes, at least when I say majority of the people accepts, no, that's not. See, 100 out of 100, someone is having 51, someone is having 49. So the majority wins. That's not the case as far as project is concerned, right? 51 and 14, what's the difference? Only two. It doesn't mean it. Does it mean that 51 is a majority? No. It may be good for the political parties or the votes and all those stuffs, not for the projects, right? It has to be accepted. When I say majority, it has to be majority. The numbers has to be, it has to be accepted, right? Yes, I just for example, I'm saying 80-20, 90-10. No, again, I'm saying 90-10 is not a correct thing. Even 10 members is getting 10 unit, not members. I'll say it's a unit. If 10 unit is getting disturbed, 90 are getting benefited. That doesn't mean that it's a majority, it's a social acceptance. What impact it is going to bring? That is important. And cost and risk management. So very helpful for cost and risk management, because that's what I said. After starting a project, say for example, you take a project where you are going to drill a foundation, and without knowing all this risk that has been involved, all the uh, what do you call risk is challenges and risk that has been involved. At midpoint, you are coming to know some risk and possible challenges which cannot be rectified, right? What is going to happen, right? The project is always almost underway. The amount of energy, the amount of time, the cost, who is going to repay it? Nobody will repay it. Further development for that particular government or the nation or the project or the company will not be appreciated. It's a failure one, right? So it's very helpful in mitigating the risk and the cost. Urban resilience and the climatic consideration, very, very important point. Again, we have discussed that. Improved urban livability, whether to live here. See, you might have come across this word, we cannot live in Chennai. நம்மளால இருக்க முடியாதுப்பா சென்னையில அப்படின்னு. You might have come across people saying from in the south side or villages, people say, no, no, who will be there in Chennai? So what bothers them? Pure and pure is of the development, right? The development in all the aspects, not only infrastructure, the all the aspect which is bothering them is the development, be it good or bad. I didn't say that they are jealous of the development. No, that's not the case. I'm not meaning in that way. I'm saying the development disturbs them, make them uncomfortable, make them not to be there in the city. No, all those stuffs will make them feel no that we don't want any urban developments. We are happy with what we have. No, we don't want any roads. We don't want any bridges or any developments. Again, it's not there in individual hands because the population is uncontrollable. Again, the policy makers and decision makers has to decide all those stuffs, right? That. So overview of global, just bringing into a table. So globally, what EU, that is United Nations, bringing it, what is USA is bringing that, and what is India is going through all those stuff. I'll concentrate on the India part. EIA notification. The latest one is that is 2006. Projects categorized A and B. Sorry, A and B. They need a prior clearance, public hearing, and it has to be regularly monitored continuously. Amendments can be implemented at any stage. That is the corrections or any development that can bring at that juncture. Then key common elements across the framework. So what is the key elements that is been happening? Prior assessment before the project authorization, not after. Okay. Consideration of alternatives. Is there any alternative that can be bring? So you can take the very example of the same airports, right? Few parties are giving against the airport, and few are in favor of it. And those who are in favor, they are asking the other opposition party, what is the alternate you have? If at all, the airport should not come at that particular place, where it can come. Right? They are asking for an alternative. They are not asking for any. The opposition party, say for example, they says, oh, we don't need. Just now I said no. I don't want any urbanization. We don't want any airport. That should not be the answer, right? That's what I said. Whether you wish or not wish, right? Whether you do it or not, it has to be developed because of the population. Where policymakers has to feed everyone, right? In one way or the other. If not, what happens? All the unemployment issues will come, poverty will come. Some way or the other, what they are projecting, any project, who is going to benefit it, right? Because of that beneficial thing, few other things can be eradicated, right? So they are asking for any alternatives, consideration of alternatives, any alternative, any other places where the land can be used. No, no alternative has been suggested so far, as far as I know. We have discussed public participation more majorly, monitoring and compliance after clearance. If the project is been cleared, environment cleared, fine, done. Okay, you should not throw that. Okay, everything is done. No, it has to be monitored and regular compliances has to be addressed. Clear project threshold and categories, very, very important. What type of project it has been, what is the threshold limit they are having, the you can have any scale or any impact values, right? Then integration of environmental, social, health, human welfare aspects. We have to integrate all those stuffs. We have seen it in the very definition part of EAA. The idea that development must be sustainable, and we have to avoid or reduce significant harms to the environment. What are the challenges we have? Differences we have when compared to other country. So the challenges and differences, the institutional setup and implementation vary widely. Central versus state process will be different. Speed of process will be different. Monitoring of the resources will be different, right? And there will be some jurisdiction emphasis, transboundaries impacts. That's an example of ESPO, Finland state, and others more domestic infrastructure. For example, India and US are being considered as a domestic infrastructure, whereas the Finland or France, it's been considered as a transboundary impact. Balancing efficiency of processing with thoroughness of review is a continual tension, especially our infrastructure process concern is very, very difficult. In practice, public participation and rigorous alternative analysis sometimes remain weak, very, very weak as far as public participation is concerned. That's why I said they give very less time. How many of you are aware of this so and so notification that is coming on the online or in newspapers? You might have come across some land grabbing ads in newspaper, right? What for it has been given? Just for the involvement of public participation, whether to make them aware of this is what happening and they are going to grab the land. All those stuff, you just go through any newspaper for 15 to 20 days. Definitely, you will find one day. Most probably in Hindu, they will publish on every Wednesday, I think so. Yes. You can just buy an Hindu paper because of 3 to 4 rupees. Just go through it and you will understand whose area has been taken for what purpose, all those stuffs they have given, right? The scope, that is what for the project has been covered, right? And the threshold vary a lot, and these are the very major challenges that we face with AI. Overall involved, right? Already I spoke about the our involvement as a stakeholders. Other than the public, who are the other persons involved? The project proponent, who is going to propose the project, say for example, Adani Ports or Adani Power or Reliance Industries, any sort of CMRL, right? Any project proponent, right? So those on a role in what are the roles, right? Initiates the project, funds and submits EIA, implements mitigations, all those stuffs they'll do. And consultants, EIA consultant, so they prepare the environmental management reports and they prepare the EIA report, conduct impact studies, they'll collect feedbacks, they'll go in live and they'll get feedback from the public and the nearby areas, right? All those stuffs they'll do. They are called as EIA consultants. And regulatory bodies or authorities, here Ministry of Energy and Forest Conservation, Forest, EPA, EU, various country and their components. So what they do is they screen the process, they review it, approve or reject, all those stuff they'll do. And expert appraisal committee or review panel, technical evaluation and recommendation, they are very concerned about the project, technical things happening in the project at the larger scale or in the long-term perception. Then monitoring and enforcement agencies, they before monitoring enforcement agency, we have public NGOs and local communities. They participate in public hearing and submit feedbacks. They give oppositions or they raise votes in favor of the project. All those stuff will happen. Monitoring and enforcement agencies, they check the compliances during the construction and operation. Very, very important, which has been very highlight of EAA. That is a continuous involvement and continuous monitoring. Sectoral agencies and advisory bodies. So, for example, if the project is been constructed or coming in the forest or in the water bodies or in the wildlife areas, you know, right? Industry, where the industry will come away from the city or away from developed residential areas, right? Why? Because what is the reason? For the betterment, for the resource and transportation purpose, and it's not harm any residential people who are not even nowhere be involved in the process or industry components, right? So the sectoral agencies and the advisory bodies, they review on that particular sector, the project, if it is coming, where it is coming, that sector is going to benefit, or what are the things happen, they'll review it. These are the persons involved in AAA process. Quickly jumping into the AAA methodologies or process we have. So we have various steps, more probably 7 steps, where it starts with screening and scoping, impact assessment, and I'll take you through with the flow chart where you can see all those steps. Quickly, I'll tell you the process how it is happening. The very first step is screening. So the main goal is to determine whether the project requires an EIA or not. EIA has to be done or not. That's the first point, the screening point. Scoping, so defines the scope of the EIA, that it identifies whether which environmental issue are most important, and it has to be studied in detail, or it has to be looked into as an outset, not that much impacted. All those stuffs happen. How they do, they like scoping can be done by looking in for consulting experts and bringing active stakeholders, and public identification, key factors, concern environment factors, all those stuffs will come into picture. Example, you can say air quality, right? Air quality or wildlife habitat, water resources nearby, all those stuffs can be deeply studied in the scoping. Impact assessment, assess the potential effects of the project on the environment, whether it is positive or negative. So how this will be done? Gathering data on how the project will affect various environmental aspects. They will do it. And next one is what is the next one? Public, sorry, mitigations. So mitigation involves majorly of strategies or action taken to reduce or manage the negative impacts. Most probably the negative impact that has to be done. Mitigation, right? So they'll take in three steps. First, they they choose the type of the project, and they minimize the impact by using any alternatives can be done, or by introducing any new technologies to it. All those stuffs will be done. And how can this new infrastructure can bring any new restoration or any new habitats that can be compensated of the losses that has done already. That is also important. Public participation, we have discussed very well. And nowadays, public participation is happening on the website. They'll draft the EIA and they'll post it in the public forum. We as the public has to go through all the policy amendments, all those stuffs, and we can bring in good and bad, all those stuffs, right? Then the reporting part, compiling all the findings, preparing into a proper report, and coining it as an environment impact statement, right? The final statement, it impacts whether project is good to go on a scale, for example, 10 scale, they are fixing 10 out of 7 or 8, it's good to go, or 2 to 3, it is not good to go, it has to be stopped, it will have a major impact, all those things. Then the decision makers, so they have to decide whether to go with or not, whether bring the project or not, they will do it. And the monitoring and compliances, very pretty simple. We have already discussed about this, right? Next. Uh, this is very important. You must know type of project, what type of project is need EIA in India. If it is a mining project, it is needed. Industrial project, you have to do EIA. Thermal power project, yes, you have to do it. River valley, multipurpose, irrigation, hydroelectric projects, all has to be cross the EIA process. Infrastructure developments and miscellaneous projects, that also has to be done. Nuclear power project also has to be done. We are at this juncture where infrastructure development, we are more concerned about the urban infrastructure. So I'll take an example of the same greenfield airport that is going to come. It has been proposed, not going to come. It is going, which has been proposed. We'll look into that. So before into that, what are the classifications of projects? So when I say projects of these 6 categories, right, you have to categorize the project into various types or any sectoral or any groups. So what type of EA has to be carried out, to what level it has to be carried out, all those stuff we'll see now quickly. So the main classification is category A and B, category B. So category A is all about large scale project with significant environmental impacts. That is, it requires central level clearance. That is from the Ministry of Energy and Forest Clearance and Export Appraisal Committee, EAC. These two people has to approve the projects that is coming under category A, most probably a large scale project with major and significant impact on the environment. And category B, smaller project with comparatively less impact, that is require very minimum level of clearance, that is from the state level, right? That is categorized as A and categorized as B. So we have two major classification, A and B. One is central, one is state. Again, this airport project is coming under category A. Subclassifications of B is goes like B1 and B2. B1, so it requires project that requires full EAA study and public consultation. The state requires they determines the TOR for the EAA study. And for example, if you say medium size thermal projects, cement plants, larger building, township projects, all coming under this project 1 B1 category. B2 does not require a full EAA study or public hearing. So there is no need of public hearing for this particular type of projects. For example, again, smaller construction below 2000 square, 20,000 square meters built up area, or small scale mining, minor irrigation projects, for those stuff and all, we don't require any EAA. Then sectoral classifications coming under EAA 2006. So mining, extraction, minerals, that is one sector. Industry sector where metallurgical, chemical, cement, fertilizer, paper, all those stuff will come. Infrastructure and construction projects, roads, highways, port, airports, townships, and any new urban area development. Energy sector, thermal power plants, hydroelectric, renewable power projects come under that energy sector. Waste management, hazardous waste, bio waste, municipal waste, and most probably very important concern today is all about e-waste. Water resource, irrigation and river valley projects, you can also add up dams, reservoirs, all those stuffs. And other than this, like very peculiar type of classifications, nuclear power plant, petroleum refineries, industrial estates, all this and all very bigger classification. So what happened here is each sector has specific threshold, production capacity, area, capital cost for any projects. Right? When I say a very big project, no, for that project also we have some minimum level of threshold limits in production capacity or in exploring area, that is establishment area, right? And the capital cost that has been invested, because higher the cost, the higher the life they will has to run. Right? So determining whether it falls under A, B, B1 or B2. So that's what I said. It's all about sectoral classification. Among this project, it can go under A or B1 or B2, any classification. Thematic classification. Again, so how it is going to be classified? Linear projects, so road line, pipelines, transmission lines, so special treatment for route-based EIAs, all these stuffs, which has been very, what do you say, very new to the EIA process. So they have given a lot of amendments in 2025. Building and construction project, so the clause and all, it has been given in the process of EAA. So that's the number. It says item A, 8A and 8B. Modernization expansion projects, if the capacity increases or exceeds 25%, we have to go for EAA, fresh EAA. If I'm expanding a project, see, earlier stage, I would have not come, I would have not gone for EAA. That is, my project will be under category B2. After 10 years or 15 years, I may be expanding the unit, production unit, or the project, right? So, for example, now you can take an example of this metro construction. Earlier, it has only phase one. I'm not talking about phase one, whether we went for EAA or not. Definitely, they might have gone for EAA. Just for understanding purpose, I'm giving this example. just how a project can be expanded, right? So first they have only one proposal, that is phase one. Now they have gone in for phase two and phase three. So that's how. If at all we are not gone for phase one in phase one EAA, then we have to go now for the phase two and phase three because of the expansion. Strategic and defense projects can be exempted from public hearing or disclosure for national security reasons. Very important. Defense projects and strategic project. You know what is all about defense project? Why it has been exempted from public hearing? Because it's not in their hand. The ex post facto clearance of a project obtaining without prior environment clearance, controversials, but allowed under the limited conditions. So that's what I said here as per EIA draft. You see here, it is not a notification, it's an EIA draft 2020 provisions, later court rulings, right? Cluster approach minings, that can also be a theme of uh, multiple clusters coming together, and broader area or eco sensitive zones, example automatically evaluating to the category A. So we need an EAA for that. Location based classification, it's all about the where it has been located, whether within the 10 kilometer of natural sanctuaries or parks or wildlife sanctuaries, critically polluted area or eco sensitive zones, interstate or international boundaries, all those stuffs that come under category B, and it may be upgraded to category A. And other classification is administrative classification, depends on who grants the clearance. Central government is going to give or state government is going to give, right? State Environmental Impact Assessment Authority or the district environmental impact authority, all those stuff. This based on the clearance from where we are getting the clearance, right? So this is an overview where you can see national, state wise, the category of project A, B1, B2, and the special cases, whether we need a full assessment or not, who is going to give the approval authority, a state government or central government, central ministry or state ministry, all those stuffs. This gives a very easy overview to get what is being done. So this is a generalized flow chart how the EIA works. Very common framework of EIA, how it works. Just now we have seen the process, right? Methodologies we have done, right? They're very similar to that. You can see, just go through the flow chart, how it flows in a manner from the state of applicants, right? Application has been processed, and we have found TOR, term of reference, has been given by the state authority, right? And the classification of projects, which one is B1 or B2, which category has been done. And if based on the classification, whether it has to go to the next level or not, which is who is going to look into that, all those stuffs you can see here. And how public involvement has been given, or how public advertisement has been given, at what stage after the EIA report it has to be submitted to the public. And if they are convinced, then you can go for the finalizing EIA. If they are not convinced, then you have to again go for the scoping and TOI preparation, looking in for any alternatives or any other improvement that can be done, like any bringing any advanced technologies, or reducing the size of the project, or delaying the project by some years. All those stuffs can be done here. After the public meeting, you can finalize the EIA and the decision making, whether to approve or not, if it has been approved with the conditions or not, whether it has been approved with conditions or it can be approved, not approved, and you have to redesign, resubmit, all those stuffs will happen. And after the approval plans, the implementation information from this process contributes to the effective future implementation of EIA. This is all about the how EIA, environmental assessment impact assessment, has been done. So positives, we have discussed all these positives. We have already discussed. I hope I have covered all the topics here. When I say positives, there will be some negatives also, right? When you look into this, even the lecture, it will be very lengthy, right? The EA process is very lengthy and bureaucratic process, so it may lead to delay of projects. So at least it takes 2 to 3 years for the assessment itself. The proposal will be somewhere example, say, example 2010, then it might have implemented in 2020, almost 10 years. What happens is the cost will get increased. You know, the power of inflation. When I build a home at in 2010, the same amount I cannot build at in 2020. It's very known fact. The power of inflation will hit us very hard. So the project delays and cost increase. Then poor quality or biased reports. That's what I said. The influence of the political parties to bring in the project or to not bring the project. Often it will be majorly be influenced because it's been done with the EA consultant, right? External parties. Only the decision authority is the government, but the process or the consultants all been outsourced, right? So we can go with very weak data and conflict of interest will be very higher. Limited public participation, very, very important. Though we say public, everything is been given to the public, everything is open to the uh, open in the open source data. How many of them are really interested? How many of them really concerned? Leave it. How many of them are really aware? See, you might have come. I'll show the document how they will give this notification. We need very high knowledge of English, right? Most probably English. Even it is there in Tamil also, but the terms, technical terms, right? They use it's very, very, very. No, the court languages or the legal language is very, very difficult. So it's very hard to understand. So not for the layman. The most probably layman will doesn't even aware of what is happening, what they have given. All those stuffs will come into picture, right? Then weak post clearance monitoring. Poor enforcement leads to non-compliances. So post clearance monitoring, once the project is been done, nobody cares about what happens, what are the promises they have given, how the waste will be recirculated. All those stuff will be very uh, reduced in scale. Compliance is very, very less. Post monitoring will be very less. So that's some negative impact that creates on AA. And political and institutional influences, we have discussed very, very major clearance sometimes granted under the pressure because of the time constraints and because of the when I say no majority 51-49, they will be convinced they someone might have convinced them, right? They have to go for the project or they have to reject the project for any sake. So like that, political and institutional influence will be higher. These are some negatives. I'll just quickly take you through the quickly take through the website where you can go and you can uh, see how the project is been what is all happening, right? I'll take you. Is my screen visible? Okay, I have not shared that, right? Wait a minute. Yes. Stop sharing. Is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, yeah, yes. You can go to this portal, that is Parivesh portal. That is where you all get this notification coming. Yes, I'll take you since I am not having any login or registration process companies can do. I'll take you how it is been given, where the public can get notified, all those stuff. Here you can see clearance. There you can go for looking for environmental clearance, forest clearance, wildlife, CRC clearance, and national campa. So I'll go with environmental clearance. Here you can see how the categorization of project so far we have seen, right? A and B, who is being the sole authority, all those stuffs you can see. At the left hand side, you can see notification and orders, right? Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, they have this notification, draft notification, where the proposal has been done. You can go and check it. And EAA notifications, the amendments, all those stuffs will be here. The circulars and the standard TORs that has been coming. The last draft of EAA notification 2020 will be available here. Say they are notification labs, they are doing the clearance. Fine. This is MOU, MOE, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Here you can see the state concern. There also can give the uh, notifications and grants for any particular projects. Then I have see here I have searched for Chennai Greenfield Airport proposal. That is, you can go and track the proposal here. Where 1 minute, yes, dashboard, right? If you go to the dashboard, you can see here I go with environmental clearance. Here I know the sector is infra 2, and it has been given in September 2024. See, you can see how many environmental project is in happening. You will be spellbound by saying this. See how many project, how many term of reference has given, how many things is already cleared, environmental clearance they have got, and what is surrenders has done. Surrender is all about project has been getting completed and there is no more in existence. That project is no more in existence, or it might have transferred, right? One company to the other company, all those stuff will come. Right here, you can see the notification. Who is the authority given? Project name is Development of Chennai Greenfield Airport. The location is Tamil Nadu, and the agency is Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation Limited. They are the sole authority to sanction the land for airport. So now the proposal status is TOR granted. That is, from here on, it takes 2 to 3 years to do the EAA. EAA will happen. Already it's happening. You just click on the particular project. You can see all things happening in the project. You can very well go through this and can understand what is happening, who is building all the areas, all those stuff you can see here. TOC granted, when it has been started, when it has been given, under examination process is done 2nd of May to 17th of May. They have done proposal acceptance has done. Now TOC granted. The very next step is direct visiting of the field and taking the questionnaires. Right here, you can also see the direct proposal common application forms for this development of Chennai Greenfield Airport, CAG, which is going to come or which has been proposed to come at Parandur near Kanchipuram, right? Who's been given CMD? They are the authority. Their address, Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation. All those stuffs you can see here, and the areas which has been captured so far. All the stuff and the cost of the project you can see in lakhs. 29 lakh 14,395 lakh rupees. In lakhs, not rupees, lakhs only. From here on, it goes. All those stuffs you can see here. Very open portal. You can go and get all the details at one place, which has been most probably it has been digitalized. And let me give show you an example of EA notification. You will get to know how it will look like. Like, as I'm giving an example, which is came at March 2025. Don't get worried. Just we have in English as well at the bottom. Yes, this is Gazette notification. See, this is what I said. If you look into this terms, no, it's very difficult, tedious to understand by the common public. Very difficult for them. So they have named the project as the linear project. Just now we have seen, right, what type of a project it will be, right? And standard operating procedure SOP, who has been involved, and the application forms, everything is there. You can look into this and you can have some broader knowledge on this particular area. Uh, yes, I think I have done with my presentation. Any questions? No, if you can, you have any questions, you can ask me. Anybody having any questions or any clarification, can ask me. If not, thank you for the time. Thank you for the opportunity given by the management of St. Peter's Institution, and for the coordinator, my good friend Anjika Priya ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the opportunity. I'll look forward to have your feedback. You can share your valuable feedback to me. I'll post the feedback link in the group. Yes, is anything else can be discussed now?
Any queries you can discuss now?
I hope I have given something, uh, at least to some extent, I have shared whatever the little things I know.
Yeah, sure.
I have shared the feedback link, ma'am. It's there in the chat box.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest speaker, Mr. A. Shattainathan Sadma, Assistant Professor, Senior Grade, Department of Civil Engineering, SRM Valime Engineering College, Katamarathur. Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable insights on topics like urban green infrastructure, features of EIA, overview on global and national legal frameworks and EIA process methodologies and the type of projects that we need for EIA, and also sharing the portals that we have to see that. Thank you, sir. Thank you for so much for the effort and time you have dedicated to addressing our students today. And my
Thank
sincere
you, ma'am.
thanks to our
Pleasure is mine. Yes, yes.
my sincere thanks to our principal, HOD, and faculty members for their continuous encouragement and support in organizing this event. And I thank all the students for their active participation for today's event. Let us carry forward the knowledge we have gained and continue to apply it towards building a more sustainable and environmentally conscious future. Thank you all. Once again, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, participants, you can